So, welcome back to part 3. Let's just continue on with the tutorial. So, we're pretty much done with this first part of the other side, the left side, I suppose it would be, from the way we are looking. Now we're going to start making this little square piece here, of which I don't know why it exists, I don't know its purpose, because I don't know anything about weapons. I know I'm probably going to get some hate for that, but I just make them, I don't understand them, and really my interest in weapons isn't that big anyway, so I don't see any reason for me to actually try to learn about them. I just want to model them for good practice, and seeing as people generally tend to like weapons, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to make this box, and then I'm going to tweak this according to exactly how it looks like it connects to the box, I guess. Well, not really connects, but the way it looks like on the reference, it looked like it was a bit sharper there, so I just figured I'd move the lovely little edge loop closer. So here I'm beveling those two edges to match the reference, obviously, and working out quite fine for me. The way I made the plane there was just simply doing a, mesh add primitive plane, simple as that, or, well, I mean, not mesh, create polygon primitive and then plane. And then I shaped it up, and this cube little thing is soon to be done. Not very hard, not very difficult at all, really. So, I mean, I think this is a bit too thin, actually. I think I'm going to go in and thicken it up a bit, but that comes in a bit later. We'll see that I'm trying to tinker around with the shape a lot here. And notice that it's a bit too round, so I'm probably going to have to add a few things here, try to actually smoothing it for real. And that I tend to do a bit every once in a while, because the smooth mesh preview isn't always as accurate as it could be, so smoothing it, actually smoothing it, is sometimes necessary. So, just to see how it works, obviously I don't keep it smooth, but, you get my point. So here I'm scaling out the outer vertices, I suppose would be the word, just because I figured that was the way it kind of looked like it was shaped, so I figured I'd do that. Here, add another edge look just to keep it sharp, and yeah, going along from there. So, I think that I'm going to try and doing this little out protruding bit right there. I'm actually going to spend more time than you might think on that, but you know, I'm cool, so deal with it, right? You'd figure I'd just extrude it like that and add control edges, right? Nope. I do start up doing that, but end up realizing that it actually has a bit more detail in it. So first I just start by doing this, trying out how this looks, and this looks just fine, honestly. I could have just kept it like this, but I wanted to maybe just keep a bit more detail in there, and that's generally that. So, yeah. Let's just see here, adding controllers, again, just going to try and see if this method works by adding just, and I added one in the center just to make sure that those edges would be sharp, and I'm probably making them a bit too sharp by doing that, but, still, just wanted to check, and it looks quite decent, honestly, it doesn't look bad. So I figured, I think I'm keeping this for a while, maybe I cut the part out, but I'm going to be changing this quite soon into something similar but different, and yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing soon. Not right now though, because I looked at my reference and I noticed in one of them that it didn't quite look like that. It looked like kind of the transition between the corners of that little protruding bit and the flat plane on the big box thing. Actually, it was a bit more defined than just, didn't just like non-exist. It actually did exist. So I figured I'd make that a bit more prominent in the model by modeling it in. So I'm actually not going to end up not having that as floating geometry. I'm going to actually have it modeled in, which is quite interesting. I suppose it could be quite interesting if you let it be. So here I realized that that's a bit too thin, and I'm going to thicken it up, and yeah, that's what I did. So I think here is where I first of all show everything and realize that I forgot to mirror some stuff over, like that. Basically feeling a bit stupid now, but realizing that, so I'm probably going to have to do that first now. by just selecting the faces again, extracting those faces, and then mesh mirroring it, duplicating in a instance, I guess would be the correct word. Going to merge up those vertices again using probably the merge vertex tool. Also, if you select, if you are in isolate select mode and then you combine two meshes and you end up losing all of the stuff in the isolate select, most of the time that means that you don't have add isolate all new objects. Basically, it's if you right click on the isolate select button, it gives you one of those options where you can just cross in whether you want it to add new objects to the isolate select when they are made. So basically all that means is if you make a new object whilst you have something isolated, either if you don't have that option on, everything will just disappear and you'll have to go out of isolate select mode, or if you have the option on, that'll just get isolated with the current object as well. So that's just a bit of information there. So here I think I'm smoothing out some edges and then just realizing how it actually looks. You can see me there, I checked some reference. Here I'm going to delete that object, I think, or maybe hide it, I'm not sure. Extruding that, scaling it down, and just, you know, snapping some edges, basically. And that's what we're going to do. So making it a bit more square, just because that's what it is, right? Right. So pushing it up into right about the position. I couldn't have it exactly in the correct position because of the way I wanted it done, but fairly close to the correct position. So you'll see what I'm going to do here soon. I'm going to actually make those edges sharp, and you'll see what that will give me. Something like that. That's actually how I kind of saw it when I looked at it in the reference, but it's kind of a bit too sharp at the moment, I find. So I'm going to try and fix that up a bit by adding some more customized edges, but it does look quite good just like that. And but not perfect, so I'm going to have to, I think, yeah, I cut to the point where that's already tweaked. You don't really need to see me doing that. But yeah, trust me, as you can see what I have there, it's pretty much done now. So here we're going to make this little, I cut the part where I made all of these parts because it's very, very simple. These are just very simple things, basically. Most of them started from a cylinder or a box. Actually, all of them started from a cylinder or a box, and incredibly simple to make, so I figured that it wasn't really that useful showing you it. And I have showed you enough stupid things already, so I figured I'd just cut that part out. So here I'm just adding this little thingy here, which actually also has one of those noise patterns on it, but again, I'm going to add that in Photoshop later, so that comes in later. So I think this part is pretty much done, and you can see it actually starts resembling a gun right now. It actually looks like the bottom of one, which is funny. Not really funny, that's the wrong expression, but it's fun. It's fun nonetheless. It's good fun. So what are we doing here? I think I'm actually checking my reference there and just checking what we want to do, treating some objects, seeing what we... also what I'm doing there is adding, I'm just going into lit mode where I can see my lights. I added a few directional lights which are really, really sharp, or well, really, really light, I suppose, and have a few different colors to them, basically just to illuminate the entire thing. Looks kind of neat, I guess, but it doesn't look extremely good. I just want to see how it looks with extreme light conditions on. I think I'm going to... I don't think I'm going to model too much with that on, but maybe a bit, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to actually make the trigger now, which is way overdue. I probably should have made that a bit earlier, but doesn't really matter. Trigger is very, very simple because it's basically just a box with control edges, and that's exactly what I'm going to make it. So starting off with a simple create polygon, and connecting up the edges and stuff like that, and then I'm going to pull it out on the x-axis and then extrude it in on the x-axis and then add the control edges and then smooth it and look at how it looks. I find that when you add the trigger is when the gun really tends to start looking like a weapon, and because of that I tend to keep the trigger for quite a while. I don't tend to like do it right away. I tend to keep it until a bit late in the production. This is just a bit my like silly paranoia, I guess, but I like feeling the like happiness of actually having something like that looks like a gun. I like having that by kind of the middle point of your model like I have here. So I tend to keep the trigger from being done for quite a while, but not that it matters. I mean, the trigger is incredibly easy to make. I do add some detail to this one, some rivets or some stuff like that, which I think I'm adding right here. Yeah, just adding some indents, I guess. I'm not really sure what to call them, but you know, just pulling those in well, making those edges right there and just scaling them and making it like that, because I saw an image of a gun that had it like that, so I figured, why not? I want some detail on the trigger, and that is some detail on the trigger, so why not, right? Looks quite decent, actually. So I think this is pretty much the end point of the trigger. I'm going to tweak some edges, and ended up looking quite nice. Very, very simple again. Very quick process, which is one of the good things about it. The trigger isn't hard. And I think I'm going to just merge these, selecting all the vertices in the middle row right there, and just merging them with a low tolerance so that it just merges everything that's on top of each other. And adding that edit right there, and then I think the trigger is officially done. So, happy me, yeah! So here I think I'm going to start actually doing the top bit, the more, the harder bit to make, I guess. Because it includes all those fancy little reload mechanics stuff. But yeah, basically the Luger P08 has a very interesting reload mechanic. If you look it up on YouTube or something, the way it reloads is quite interesting. This little, I guess, piston-like thing. It's not a piston, but it kind of looks like one, I guess. Kind of shoots up, and it has a lot of joints and stuff in it, so it'll be fun to make, obviously. It's if you get it looking right, it quite looks cool, so that's all good. I'm going to start by making this little cylinder here, and realizing that I have some proportion issues, I guess, but I don't think that matters too much at this point, so just going to keep it like that. And yeah, this is one of the joint points of that reload mechanic thing. I'm not sure what to call it. Not bolt action, because it's not bolt action, because that's one of the few words I actually know gun-wise. Yeah, from playing stupid video games, right? Yeah, that's all I know about guns. Stuff I learned from video games. But, yeah, I know that some of the people on this website make really good guns and are really talented artists and know a lot about guns, and they might be a bit pissed at me for not knowing anything about guns, basically, whilst I make one, but I think the main point here that I'm trying to make is that I use reference, and reference, it helps me a lot when making a gun. I don't even have to know anything real about a gun to be able to make one, and that I find is very powerful, because, I mean, technically, I guess you could say that if you want to make a character, you don't need to know anatomy. You just need to have the correct reference, and that's just one of the great points of reference. You can make so many things if you have the correct material, basically. So you see that edge right there is actually snapped right at the center point of the grid, right at the middle point of the gun. As you can see, I have some scaling issues to be fixed because one side is a bit smaller than the other one. So I think, I'm not sure if I recorded it, but I'm going to fix that right about now. I hope I didn't record it, because it would be unnecessary to keep it recorded, but maybe I did. Maybe I'm silly. It's probably, yeah, it's more likely that I am silly, so yeah, I'm probably going to, yeah, I have recorded that, of course I have. But yeah, I'm just quickly fixing that up, not taking too long. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before in this video tutorial series. You might see me changing the pivot of certain objects a few times here in my series, but if you don't know how to do that, it's very, very straightforward and simple. Basically, all you have to do is hold down D on your keyboard and then just move the pivot, or if you want to do it another way, you can just press Insert on your keyboard and it'll allow you to move the pivot. I prefer to just press D and hold it, because that's a bit more comfortable, because I always keep my left hand on that side of the keyboard anyway, so I figured that would just be the most comfortable way of doing it. And yeah, it is kind of, for me anyways. So yeah, I tweaked the size a bit there. Also, I made that little like thing that you switch, the little switch thing right there on the side that you might see there. I don't think I recorded the process of me doing that, but again, it's a very, very simple thing. Didn't need to show you how to do that, because the main interest of this series, I think, is coming up next, because this is the top part, which has probably the most advanced geometry so far, I guess. I'm going to extrude these parts out, because that's how it looks on the actual model, and I'm going to pull that part out, although it doesn't quite work out that way. I'm probably going to undo that fairly soon, or maybe keep that. I'm not entirely sure if I do keep it, I can't remember, but either way, I'm going to push these down a bit, because I extruded them a bit too far, I think. So let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm actually keeping that little thing by there. Yeah, I think I'm keeping that. So here I'm adding some control edges just because I'm cool, and cool people do that. So adding some control edges, adding some, oh yeah, accidentally adding them on the wrong object because I'm pro. Yeah, I know I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, right? Yes, we do. So I think I'm actually going to end up splitting this. Oh yeah, like you see the horrible thing there of not deleting your inside faces when extruding. But yeah, no, it looks good. So I think I'm going to fairly soon actually extract this into different meshes. And you'll see me do that fairly soon, as I said. But yeah, so let's just see here what we're doing. Oh yeah, fixing this one up here. It was a bit too sharp, so I'm just going to go in and fix it. So here you can see my geometry I have on this. It's very, very simple. And as for that, I didn't really think it was necessary to record myself doing it, because that just wastes your time, right? So I think this might be the point where I'm going to split the mesh up into different bits. Not entirely sure. No, actually I'm going to extract that, duplicate that face off of the model by duplicating it off. I'm not really sure how to explain that, but duplicating it off. And I'm going to make this little eye thing, where you look the little sights on the thing. Wow, I'm so technical with my gun knowledge. I know, but you know, still, it is what it is, right? So, oh yeah, and here you're going to see me doing this by seriously the most convoluted way possible. I could have made this so much easier on myself, but I just didn't realize it at the time. You can see me trying to extrude that down and then adding edges to make it work better. I didn't realize at the time I could just make it so easier by just fixing it the obvious way, but you see what I'm trying to do here. It's going to look terrible, obviously, because I'm doing it the wrong way. One of those things where I do the most convoluted and slow possible way at the start of it, but end up doing it end up realizing it by the end and making it the proper fast way. It's it's my way of learning, basically. It's just I like to mess up in my models because it makes me learn. Of course, messing up naturally, not like messing up by accidentally crashing Maya and having all of your files corrupted, which obviously is never ever good. And I just don't realize how I couldn't see it if I just fill that top face up and just extrude the bottom one down and just fix that. No, I'm doing it this way now, which of course works as well. I mean, there's so many ways to do things in 3D that, I mean, it's quite staggering, but still, I could have done it so much easier. You have no idea. You can see, yeah, this is just so slow. I don't know why I didn't. Oh well, I mean, this is the way I did it, and you can see it ends up working out for me, obviously. You can see, I think this was at the point where I realized what I could have done, and I kind of facepalmed and felt very sad. But of course, again, I learned from my mistakes, and I will probably never do that mistake once more, which of course is very good. So you can see me, yeah, that's pretty much it done. It looks good. I'm going to add some control edges next, and maybe thicken it up a bit, but yeah, otherwise that's pretty much it done. The trigger, not trigger, I'd like to say iron sights, but I don't think it's classified as iron sights, so I'm just going to say sights, I guess. So tweaking some sizes here, and adding the lovely control edges by using the insert edge loop tool, which has been included in Maya since way back, which I've already said like 1 billion times, and you already know. Sorry for that. Yeah, fine, I'll stop talking like that. But so here again, it looks a bit too soft, so oh yeah, messing up there, but yeah, adding a bit more control edges, and it's almost done, yes, and it looks good. I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, let's see here. There we go. I'm quite happy with that. I think I don't think I'm going to make any difference or any changes with it, any major ones anyway. Maybe some scale ones, of course, but otherwise I'm quite fine. Yeah, pushing that back in a bit more, but yeah, looks very good, I think. So next, what should we do next? I seem to never. Yeah, so next I think we're doing the thing that I'm not even sure what it's called, but you can see it really does look like a gun now, which is very obviously. I'm actually making the barrel now. I didn't realize I was. Oh yeah, I thought I did the barrel. No, I'm doing that little handle piece, right? This little small, like, cylindrical handle piece by the back of the gun, which I'm not really sure what the point of it is, but I know it's there because I saw it in the reference, so I'm just adding it in right now. very, very quickly. I obviously could have probably done this maybe a bit easier by extruding by curve, but doesn't matter, honestly, as long as it gets done right, and it gets done fairly quickly. I mean, as I've said, speed is important, but I'm just working. This is a private work. I'm not doing it to get. I'm obviously not doing it for a client or anything like that, so I can take my sweet time. So I just do it the way I prefer to do it. That's what we do. So we're going to take this merge down, and yeah, that part was quick. I'm thinking after this is scaled a bit and fixed a bit, I think that handle bit is quite done. Going to add some tapering off to that and move it over. And yeah, that's done. So now I'm going to tweak this little area. Now I'm going to tweak this little area right here, and let's see here. Yeah, I'm getting some issues there, but yeah, that's pretty much adding some controllers to make it work correctly, and looking quite good, right? Yeah, you can see that the edge flow correctly supports those edges, and we are very happy right now. So I think that part is right about done now, so I'm going to make this little splinter part right up here. And again, very simple. I'm not going to add the little noise detail that you see there, but I am going to add the hole, obviously. So I'm not sure if you really needed to know that, but if you did, there's your information. Here I'm going to just see exactly. I'm contemplating whether or not I'm contemplating how to do this correctly, and this is just by looking at my reference. Which again, I'm going to stress this entire tutorial, because if you have just jumped into this part without any forewarning, use reference, dude. I've said it at least 5 times now this series. Use reference or die. It's such a big, important thing. So yeah. Let's see here. What are we doing now? Oh yeah. So you can see what I did there. I have actually extracted some bits out of that and made it a few separate objects. Why did I do that? Well, I did that so that it could support better edge flow. Because it wasn't really working out too well for me at that point. So I had to, if I extracted that piece of the mesh, I could just keep my edges on and keep them a bit better placed, honestly. So yeah, that's just my reasoning behind that. And here you see I'm deleting some accidental doubles, because I guess I hit the... I was a bit happy with the duplicate button, I guess, and I accidentally duplicated a few things. What's going on now? Not entirely oh yeah, I'm adding some, again, control edges, I know. Adding these, you might see me matching out those with the other mesh, just keeping them there so that I can, if I do feel like it, I am going to merge those into the same mesh eventually. Not right now though, because I'm going to add some detail to this one first. I think I'm going to add the hole as well first. Not why I did delete those there, but you'll see why soon enough. Oh god. Actually, I'd probably end up not deleting those. Actually, I'm not sure why I deleted them myself. So don't ask, right? Here I'm just going to start by trying to match these up correctly, and I think this works out fairly well for me. Actually, I don't think I need to redo this too many times. Maybe once or twice only. Obviously, again, reiterating is one of the major parts of 3D, and you need to get used to it, basically. But yeah, you can see me there redoing it because it didn't look good, and yeah. So I'm probably going to, I'm going to extrude those and then delete some stuff. We'll merge those down, yeah. So let's see here, yeah, that looks good. So yeah, just merging these into there, and it's all looking very fine now, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is the, yeah, this looks good. I like this. Going to have some bits, I'm not sure if it's right now, but some more interesting bits are going to be added quite soon. We're going to merge these two, not sure if I'm doing it now, but, am I? No, I'm adding the hole now anyway. Yeah. Oh yeah, this might be. I'm using the cut faces tool right there, which is basically, if you use Maya, and you just go try the tool if you have Maya. I can't really explain it. It kind of draws out an imaginary plane on your mesh and cuts a straight line right across it. and that's the best way I could explain it. Not sure if it even made any sense, but if you use it yourself, you'll get it instantly. It's not very difficult, honestly. Important tip with that though is that remember remember that you can hold down Shift while using it, and it'll snap and stuff. It'll make it more aligned. 2 different points, right? So here I'm going to start merging these 2 pieces together by and this edge flow might look weird, but it actually works out quite well for me because I'm quite I don't know, I got lucky I guess with the edge flow here. Didn't look like it could work, but it actually did in the end. So just merging these 2 pieces because they are actually one on the mesh or on the actual gun, I believe. So why not keep them as one on this one, right? Interesting bit here. I'm going to add a little bit of an indent here. It's going to look quite cool. I can't remember exactly how I even did it, but it's going to look cool. That much I know. Might just have to do that right now. Actually, going to add that edge right there because I look cool doing it. Actually, I should probably make the hole first, but I'm not sure if I'm going to... Yeah, okay, here we go. Making the little hole. First one, I'm going to extrude it out a bit, because that's just, you know, see that? Extruding it out a bit, just make it actually look like what it is, and what it is just, it's like, not exactly sure. I know it functions as a joint, but I'm not entirely sure what it's called. Yeah, so that looks good in and of its own, and now I'm going to make the small little detail bit that makes it look cool when mirrored over. And the way I do this, I'm going to see here, I'm going to select those vertices right there, I'm going to pull them over into kind of this C shape, which obviously looks cool. Now I'm going to redirect some edges to make it work properly, which I do here, and very, very simple. Doesn't really look too good when just looking at it like this, but it'll make sense, trust me. So I'm going to just fix the edge loop just push this edge in a bit because it's standing out and looking very bulged and weird. And we don't like weird in Sebastian land, no we don't. So here we are, now we're actually doing stuff. Pushing this in as well, and soon I'll be connecting these up and making them make sense, basically. So let's just see here. I'm going to select all of those and extruding them, I believe. Yes, extruding them and pulling them out like this. And then I'm going to connect them up correctly and pull these to the side a bit more. And you might not see what I'm doing here at the moment, but you'll see when I mirror it over that it looks quite cool. First of all, I'm just going to fill this hole right here, and we're all in business, basically. So extrude that down there, extrude it once more, and one last time, and there we are. So, oops, dropped something. Hold on, need to go get that. There we are. So merging those again, I have that's just using the standard merge collapse thing. I just have it as a shortcut. Going to add some control edges and also fix some of my geometry up because I'm cool. So let's see here. I have some weird geometry going on right down there, so I'm going to delete most of that, and you might see where I'm going here soon. You might see what I'm trying to do. If you've seen the actual gun, or maybe by some reason you've seen exactly the same reference that I used, which is probably one of the more commonly used references for the Luger P08 model. It's a very useful piece of reference, and I advise anyone wanting to make this gun to use it. It's generally just search for Luger P08 on either, I think, Google works, Luger P08 reference I think works, and maybe some, I think I found it through Game Artists, that forum, so if you like search Luger P08 on that forum, you'll find some things that references that site, basically. It's just a person's album on Pixagogo who has a lot of different gun references uploaded, and he is more or less the savior in... He's basically your savior if you want some reference. So you can see there, mirrored over, looking quite neat, and quite happy with that. Look at that, that looks hot. Yeah, that might look like a very difficult shape to make, but it's really not. It's very, very simple. I mean, I'm not saying I'm god at this, I'm not saying I'm even good at this, I'm just saying that I'm quite happy with how that looked, and you know, yeah, I think it looks decent, and I hope you do too. Here again, I'm fixing some edges and making them look more proper, making them look more adept to their environment. That makes no sense. Actually, it kind of does make sense. Going to tweak the edges a bit here, but I don't think I'm going to make too many changes because I'm quite happy with the result I got, as I've said. So, yeah, let's just deal with that, right? Let's see if I can delete any unnecessary edges, and I end up not being able to, and kind of failing horribly. So, yeah, here I'm going to try and deleting those faces because I forgot what they were for. I thought they were just being there for no reason, but you can see that when I go back and unhide the entire mesh, that decision kind of screwed me over. You can see that there's this slight hole. Well, you can't see it now, but deleting that row of faces was kind of a yeah. You can see that there. Yeah, that happened, and going to have to go in and fix that now. Probably just undoing it until the point where I deleted the faces, and yeah. So there we are. I have to just fix that last one, and we are done with this part, I think. And yeah, on that note, actually, we are done with this part. Yeah, this part is over. This is actually the second to last part, so I'll see you in the next one for finishing up the gun model. So I think the next one is going to be a bit longer than this one even, so get your modeling hats on, baby. We are taking a ride. See you later.